operators, built-in math functions, a few functions from the math module, and then a few exercises. Be sure to look at the timestamps if you would like to skip ahead to another section. Let's begin with some really easy stuff. We're going to cover some basic arithmetic operators. Let's say we have a variable, friends. Currently, you have 0 friends. If you need to increment a variable by 1, you could say friends, the name of the variable, equals the name of the variable again, plus 1. So the plus sign is the addition operator. And I think we do have a little bit of experience with that already. So if I were to print my variable friends, guess what? You now have 1 friend. We could also shorten this line of code. You could say friends plus equals 1. That would do the same thing. This is known as an augmented assignment operator. That will give you the same result. I prefer to use augmented assignment operators just because they take less text, and I think they're easier to read. Now let's use subtraction. Friends equals friends minus 2. So, of course, minus is the subtraction operator. You have negative 2 friends, I guess. If you were to use the augmented assignment operator, that would be friends minus equals 2. There, you still have negative 2 friends. Okay, multiplication, let's change friends to, how about 5? Friends equals friends times 3. You now have 15 friends. Then the augmented assignment operator version of this would be friends times equals 3. So, again, you have 15 friends. Let's cover division. Friends equals friends divided by 2. So we have 2.5 friends. Somebody was cut in half. We have half a friend. Maybe it's just their legs or torso or something. Then the augmented assignment operator would be friends divided by equals 2. And the result is still the same. Now exponents. Friends equals friends to the power of 2. So friends is currently 5. Friends to the power of 2 would be 5 times 5, which is 25. The augmented assignment operator version of this equation would be friends exponent equals 2. And again, friends is 25. Then we have modulus. Modulus gives you the remainder of any division. Suppose we have 10 friends instead of 5. I will assign a new variable, remainder. Remainder equals friends. The percent sign is known as the modulus operator. It will give us the remainder of any division. If I were to divide my group of friends by 3, we will have 1 remaining. I'll store the remainder within a separate variable. We would have a remainder of 1. It's kind of like in class when the teacher says for everybody in the class to go into groups of 3. Then there's always that one kid that's by themselves. That's kind of the same concept. We're dividing our friends into groups of 3. Then the modulus will give you the remainder. If we divided our group of friends into groups of 2, well, 10 divides by 2 evenly, so there is no remainder. So that is the modulus operator. It's fairly popular to use this operator to find if a number is even or odd, because it will divide by 2 evenly if that number is even. If the remainder is 1, that means that the original number is odd. Okay, so yeah, those are some basic arithmetic operators. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, exponentiation, then modulus. Now what we're going to do is cover some built-in math-related functions. Suppose we have 3 variables, x equals 3.14, y equals 4, z equals 5. It doesn't matter if these are floating point numbers or whole integers. The first is the round function. We have a variable named result. I'm going to round x. So there is a built-in round function. After the set of parentheses, we can add some value or variable to be rounded. So we will round x to the nearest whole integer, then print the result. So our result is 3. So that's the round function. With the absolute value function, we can find the absolute value of a number. Let's change y to be -4 instead of 4. We'll take result equals ABS, which means absolute value of y. The absolute value is the distance away from 0 as a whole number. The absolute value of -4 is 4. Okay, let's change y back to 4. There's a built-in power function. Result equals pow. Then we'll need a base and an exponent. What's y to the power of 3? That would be 4 times 4 times 4, which is 64. That's the pow function. You can raise a base to a given power. The next two are really useful. Using the max function, we can find the maximum value of various values. What's the maximum value between x, y, and z? Then I'll just need to store this value. Result equals the max between x, y, and z. Well, the maximum value is 5. Otherwise, there's min. What's the minimum value between x, y, and z? That would be 3.14. Now, in this next section, we do have some very useful constants and functions from the math class, but we'll need to import the math module at the top of our text editor. So import math. If you need the value of pi, you'll type the name of the math module, .pi. And I'm just going to print this. Print math.pi. The value of pi is 3.14159 and a bunch of digits that come after. If you're working with physics, I do know that people use the constant e a lot. We won't be using e in this video series, but if you ever need access to it, just type math.e. And that will give you e, which is 2.71 something something something. I believe e is known as the exponential constant. If you need the square root of a number, let's say result equals math.sqrt. We can place a variable or a value within the square root function. Let's say we have x again. X equals 9. What is the square root of x? Then I will print whatever the result is. The square root of 9 is 3. That is the square root function. There's a ceiling function. Result equals math.ceil. Ceil will always round a floating point number up. Suppose x is 9.1. So 9.1 rounded up is 10. Otherwise, there's floor, which will always round a number down. Result equals math.floor. Let's change x to 9.9. 9.9 rounded down is 9. Those are some useful math functions. Let's go over some exercises. Okay, in this first exercise, we are going to calculate the circumference of a circle. We'll need the help of the math module, because there's some good functions in there. To calculate the circumference of a circle, the formula is 2 times pi times r. Let's ask a user for a radius, because that's what r is. We'll accept some user input. Enter the radius of a circle. We will typecast the input as a floating point number. To calculate the circumference, again, the equation is 2 times pi. We can get that from the math module, times whatever the radius is. And the user is going to type that in. Then we will print whatever the circumference is. Print, we'll use an F string. The circumference is our variable circumference. Enter the radius of a circle. I'll enter 10. Actually, 10.5. Their circumference is 65.97. If you want to round and truncate some of these numbers, we can use the round function around circumference. then round to a given decimal place. I'll round to 2 digits. Again, 10.5 rounded is 65.97. You could add a unit of measurement too. Let's say centimeters. 10.5 is 65.97 centimeters. All right, that is the first exercise. For this next exercise, let's calculate the area of a circle. We'll import the math module. We'll ask for a radius, much like before. Radius equals input. Enter the radius of a circle. We'll cast our input as a floating point number. The equation for the area of a circle is pi times radius squared. We could easily use the built-in power function to raise our radius to the power of 2. Then we will display the area. Print, I'm using an F string, the area of the circle is our area to some unit of measurement, let's say centimeters, squared. Enter the radius of a circle, 10.5. The area of the circle is 346.36, but I would like to round this number to 2 decimal places. I'll use that round function, and I'll place area and the number of digits to round to within this function. Let's try that again. 10.5. The area of the circle is 346.36 centimeters squared. That is the second exercise. For this last program, we're going to find the hypotenuse of a right triangle. The formula to calculate the hypotenuse of a right-angled triangle is C equals the square root of a squared plus b squared. We'll begin by importing the math module. We'll ask the user for the lengths of side A and B. A equals input, enter side A. We'll cast the input as a floating point number. We'll do the same thing with side B. B equals enter side B. Now this part's going to be confusing. We'll calculate C. We'll need a squared plus b squared. We'll take a to the power of 2 plus b to the power of 2. Then we'll need the square root of all of this, whatever the result is. I will surround this equation with math.square root. And that should give us our answer. Let's print, using an F string, side C equals whatever C is. So enter side A, 3, side B will be 4, side C is 5. All right, everybody, so that was everything related to some arithmetic operators and math-related functions in Python. And in the next video, we're going to cover a few things involving string formatting.